Coming up on UCF Nightly News, students are bleeding black and gold as homecoming week is in full force. Find out what UCF did to celebrate and what's in store for the homecoming game. And the Knights are helping to fight hunger on campus. Find out what's being done right now to give back in time for Thanksgiving.
And some major cuts to the food stamp program this week will tell you how the Orlando community is being affected. Nightly News starts right now.
Good afternoon and welcome to UCF Nightly News. I'm Kat Page.
And I'm Kenny Morales. Today is Friday, November 8th. It's homecoming week and the Knight community is celebrating louder and prouder than ever. Nightly News reporter Stacia Strong is out at Spirit Splash to tell us about UCF's biggest tradition.
All right, that's right, guys. I'm here at the Reflection Pond just under an hour to go before the students take this place over. Students are already lined up and it is about to get crazy. This year marks the 50th anniversary of UCF, also known as the Golden Anniversary, which was the inspiration for this year's homecoming theme. Student Director of Homecoming Jared Fusey shares his big ideas for this week's celebrations.
For our campus, it's not supposed to be events. It's supposed to be a feeling that we invoke out of students, and that's kind of where we came. And then it came right back into our stage and all our audio. And we went so big with our production this year. Just everything I wanted to be bigger, in your face. I wanted everyone to feel a part of homecoming and really own what it is to be a UCF Knight.
I am so excited about homecoming week. Honestly, Craig Robinson, all this Benny Benassi, I've had such a good time. UCF rules.
It should be the best. I mean, 50 years to be a milestone, so we should make it the best. Craig's obviously up there, so working it.
So far this year's homecoming has broken every record set for attendance. Movie night alone doubled in the number of students who came out. And Fusey says he thinks Spirit Splash will be an even bigger hit. He hopes this week's activities will bring thousands more students and community members out to cheer on the football team.
UCF, yeah, hopefully we'll win against Houston, and then we'll go like, Blake Bortles been doing an awesome job, so UCF all the way.
The homecoming football game is set to kick off tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in Bright House Network Stadium. SGA officials are giving more than 5,000 t-shirts. This place is about to go crazy with rubber ducks, students, and community members at the Reflection Pond. Stacia Strong, UCF Nightly News.
Thanks, Stacia. Well, you know, I've actually been to a couple of the homecoming events this week. I went to comedy night and movie night, and it's been a really, really fun experience for UCF students.
Yeah, Kat, I actually got to go to Spirit Splash a couple years back in the day, and it's always been a great event. And actually, this year, ESPN is going to be on campus covering the event, and they're going to show their footage for tomorrow night's big game against Houston, so it should be pretty exciting. To find out all about the details on every homecoming event leading up to the big game tomorrow night, go to our website at www.nightlynews.ucf.edu.
But homecoming isn't just about school spirit. This week, students combined competition with philanthropy. Penny Wars brought students together to try to earn the most money for their organization. All pennies equaled positive points, and coins and dollars were negative points. So rivals placed nickels, dimes, and quarters into the jars of their competitors to create some friendly competition. All proceeds went to Nighthon, which donates the money to the Children's Miracle Network, an international nonprofit organization that raises funds for children's hospitals and medical research.
But students aren't the only ones donating pennies. They are also donating food to help feed fellow students. Nightly News reporter Caitlin Channa explains how a simple, non-perishable item is a necessity for some students.
For some of us, buying a jar of peanut butter is no big deal, while for others, it might be their only wish.
This is all that it took for that one lady to be very happy.
Knights Helping Knights food pantry volunteer says this might be a student's next meal.
She was shopping around and then she needed peanut butter. Specifically, she asked for it. There was none on the shelves, but we were currently marking items and counting things that had just been donated, and we found peanut butter.
That's when Jaffe handed the student a jar of peanut butter.
She was so happy that we'd found it.
And that student isn't alone. Becky Gilbert is a regular at Knight's Pantry. She often takes oatmeal packets and mixes peanut butter with it.
Yeah, because you then get the protein and the oatmeal, and then it stays filling longer and creamier.
Gilbert says freshman year she lost 15 pounds because she was living off of scraps.
If we didn't have this pantry, what would you do?
I don't know. I really don't. because like for a while it was just I ate less.
The emotion in her eyes captures the truth of what she's going through. That's why the Knights Pantry is hosting a drive called Knightsgiving to ask students to help one another by donating non-perishable items.
There are some people that are worse off than I am.
Gilbert hopes to one day give back in return. For now, pantry advisors are asking others to give the gift of donations to help these hungry students. In Orlando, Caitlin Channa, UCF Nightly News.
Pantry officials say this past month, students donated 1,800 pounds of food to other Knights. The Knightsgiving event will run until December 2nd.
In 2009, Congress raised benefits for people on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP or food stamps. But on November 1st, these benefits expired and assistance was cut. Reporter BB Bax explains how these cuts are impacting the community.
Charities are tiny up against this problem.
Greg Higgerson is with Second Harvest Food Bank. He says the demand for food is going to skyrocket. That's because nearly 46 million Americans who use food stamps will be getting less help this month.
About 70% of people who receive SNAP benefits are children. They are seniors, they are veterans.
Higgerson says these people will end up going to food banks for help, but food banks won't be able to keep up.
The truth is there will be no accommodation possible to affect the kind of shortfall that this is going to happen.
The average family of 4 on food stamps is now receiving about $36 less per month. At $1.50 a box, that's about 24 boxes of cereal. For people like Joey Kenneth, who relies on food banks to feed his family, $36 can go a long way.
$36 done right could probably be the difference between 2 to 3 days worth of food.
The Community Food and Outreach Center is another program assisting people living under the poverty line. Families making under about $23,000 a year.
We do expect to see an uptick in the number of people that are having to use the service.
Representatives say the groups most affected are the ones who can't do anything to help themselves.
Children ultimately take the brunt of this, and seniors, the two populations that are kind of most in peril when it comes to any type of major budget shift.
But Higgerson says these cuts impact all of us.
It actually affects the economics of a community, grocery stores, and farmers and truck drivers and everybody involved in the food delivery system. People are hurt, businesses are hurt, everybody's hurt when we cut SNAP.
In Orlando, BB Bax, UCF Nightly News.
More cuts to food stamps are being proposed in Congress. The Senate is considering about $4 billion in cuts to the SNAP program, while the House wants the program to be cut about $40 billion. Well, and it's starting to get really chilly out there. Simone Davis joins us right now with a look at our first forecast. How's it looking out there, Simone?
It's looking really cool outside. You know, right now is definitely the time to pull out those long sleeve sweaters and cardigans. Right now it's about 65 degrees with humidity at 66%. And for the rest of the week, it's clear skies and there's a 20% chance of rain. So we'll have more on that a little bit later in the forecast.
Thanks, Simone. And still ahead on Nightly News, Orlando is looking to begin reforming its euthanasia policies. Find out what officials are starting to do to save the animals.
And we'll talk about a very important piece of UCF history. Find out who's responsible for keeping school spirit in full swing. Orange County Health Services Department is changing the way Central Florida shelters put down animals. I spoke with a health services official who told me more about how accidental euthanasia can be prevented. Health services officials met with Orange County commissioners on Tuesday to present a new checks and balances system for local animal shelters. Representatives made these changes after Orange County Animal Services accidentally euthanized Hershey, a 2-year-old pit bull mix, even though he was supposed to be adopted. Orange County Health Services Director Dr. George Rawls says a new collar system for dogs and cats is just one of the changing policies.
So the second that you make a decision about the animal, a color-coded collar goes on. Okay, that colored collar is assigned to everybody involved with that animal from that point forward. That a decision's been made about that animal's home, so it will not go down a euthanasia pathway accidentally.
Officials from Central Florida animal shelters say these euthanasia reforms are a good idea. Judy Cirillo, founder of a no-kill shelter Pet Rescue by Judy, agrees.
I'm glad that they're going to take focus now and realize the importance of working together and getting their organization put in place so that they're examining the animals.
Cirillo also says controlling the pet population is the key to preventing unnecessary euthanization.
The first thing which they really need to go back to is having the spay and neuter bus on the streets.
Cirillo says these buses, which are mobile services that provide surgical procedures, are affordable ways for residents to spay and neuter their pets. Animal services officials say they have the ability to refuse taking in more animals, so those like Hershey can have a second chance. A recent Orlando Sentinel review found 48,000 dogs and cats were put down in Lake, Osceola, Orange, and Seminole counties in the past 2 years. If approved, Dr. Rawls says the animal euthanasia reforms will go into effect in 2014.
Officials from the Student Government Association gave students a chance to learn about their cars on Tuesday. SJ Life Skills College 101 offered students demonstrations on how to change their tires and check car fluids. Representatives from the Car Club also showed students how to properly wash their vehicles. We asked the UCF Car Club president what he thought was most important for students to know.
I don't think there really is a most important part because, all of it kind of comes together because on the road, you never know what's going to happen. So each of these basic skills can come in handy at any time.
Moving on to school spirit, students are chanting their love for their university at large. Nightly News reporter Caitlin Chana talked to Knights about UCF's famous celebrity.
He definitely gets the crowd going.
Gets the crowd hyped up.
He's a pretty comical guy. I like him.
Nitro to me means like the heart of campus.
Students love seeing him. He is the soul of UCF. He is Nitro. Still, the lurking question is, who is Nitro?
A lot of the college students are trying to figure out who's under the mask and what are the kids' names that are doing it.
I can't tell you who the students are because I was sworn to secrecy. But out of 60,000 students...
We currently have 6 team members on the team right now, and 5 of them are male and 1 is female.
Wait, what? Did he say female?
And 1 is female.
Yes, it's true.
They spend countless hours practicing, making sure that they walk the same way, they act the same way, they take photos the same way. So regardless of who is in costume, Nitro is Nitro.
When these 6 students put on this costume,
kneecaps and shin pieces and arm pieces,
they embody the characteristics of Nitro.
You just lose your identity, you take on Nitro's identity.
Like, oh, it's Nitro, it's Nitro.
Some students believe you're never too old to show your love for your school's mascot.
You are one of my heroes, and I try to be as knightly as I can be because of you.
We love Nitro!
In Orlando, Caitlin Chana, UCF Nightly News.
And if you want to become a knight in shining armor, UCF Spirit Team holds auditions every fall. Officials say the tryouts need to showcase your athletic ability, school spirit, and understand the characteristics of Nitro. And the weather has been really rainy and cool. When we come back, Simone Davis tells us what to expect in the next few days.
And find out how Orlando is preparing to welcome 2 major women's soccer teams. We'll tell you what to expect with the USA versus Brazil matchup.
One of the most powerful typhoons to ever make landfall hit the Philippines yesterday. The Category 5 storm named Haiyan had winds approaching to 200 miles per hour. The storm took 3 lives and more than 100,000 people took refuge in shelters. About 90% of all structures are heavily damaged from the strong wind and flood. Members of UCF Filipino Association say they're beginning relief efforts for the people affected immediately.
And it's been a big month for soccer fans as the U.S. women's team takes on Brazil right here at the Citrus Bowl. I spoke with Tiffany Sahadak about what it feels like to play on an international platform.
Soccer, the English invented it, the Brazilians perfected it.
Alicia Santos is a Valencia student and former soccer player. Although she didn't grow up in Brazil, she says that her passion for the sport is just as strong as anyone born in the soccer-crazed nation.
It's not like it's important, it's like the way of life. Like everyone plays soccer there. Everyone's good at soccer there.
Like many Brazilians, Santos is excited for the chance to see the women's Brazilian national team take on the U.S. UCF women's soccer coach Tiffany Sahadak is also excited for the future of soccer in Central Florida.
I'm really excited just about soccer in Central Florida with Major League Soccer coming with Orlando City, U.S. women's national teams coming this weekend, UCF women's soccer is doing great. So great time for soccer in our area, and it just shows that the fans in this area are very passionate about the sport, and it's growing every day.
On Sunday, November 10th, the teams will face off in the Citrus Bowl, which was also home to their matchup back in 1999. In that game, forward Mia Hamm would score her 108th goal of international play.
Leaves it off. Here's Mia Hamm in the box. The shot, goal!
A new world record. Sahadak was a member of that 1999 FIFA Women's World Cup Championship team and remembers the historic moment.
I just remember sprinting out there and just jumping on her just to celebrate after she scored that game-breaking goal. So it was a pretty cool time.
While many USA fans will look for the team to stay undefeated this year, Brazilian fans are hoping their team can upset the Americans and hand them their first loss of the season.
Pentacampeão.
We're back! 2-2! That's what you call USA razzle-dazzle!
The last time the two teams met was in 2011 when the USA team took a historic victory, and they are now looking to take another win. The game will kick off at 3:30 p.m. and will be broadcast on NBC.
Well, it's starting to feel really chilly out there. Simone Davis is with us with our weather. Simone, how's it looking out there?
Well, as I said, guys, things are really cooling down. We take a closer look at our state temperatures. As I said, right here in Orlando, it's 65 degrees, but let's head up north and we have 54 in Tallahassee, 57 in Jacksonville, we have 72 in Tampa, and if we head down south to Miami, it's 77. But what's happening here in Florida is only a ripple effect of what's happening in the rest of the country. Now let's take a look at it from a national standpoint. We have here in the Northwest, things are really cooling down. And if we take a look at the Northeast, again, cold weather. And we look at Florida where it's usually red hot, it's actually green and yellow, which means things are going to be staying that way for this weekend. But with the cool weather, there is rain to come. If we take a look at our national forecast map, we have rain right here, rain and thunderstorms coming, but we don't have to worry about that until Monday through Tuesday and Wednesday. But this weekend, you guys are all set. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. We have 81 as the high for Saturday and Sunday, 64 as the low on Saturday, 62 as the low on Sunday with 0% chance of rain. But if we look at Monday and Tuesday, there is rain to come, only 20%, so just have your umbrella with you handy. But Wednesday, it's actually going to be cooling down. We have 74 as the high, 56 as the low, and a 30% chance of rain. So it's going to be cold and a little wet. So just make sure that you have your umbrella and a jacket with you. And also, you might want to wear a long sleeve sweater underneath. You don't want to get sick. But that's all we have for the forecast today, guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Simone. Still ahead on Nightly News, it's been a big week for UCF sports, with football still dominating in the conference and basketball beginning its season. You can be sure to catch a good game.
Sports is up next.
Welcome, Knights, to your UCF Sports Update. I'm Mark Rosel. It's the battle of undefeated conferences playing Saturday. The number 21 ranked Knights football squad is gearing up for their homecoming game tomorrow against the University of Houston. The Knights last beat Houston at Bright House Network Stadium in a close 2009 game when the Cougars were ranked 13th in the country, 37-34. The Knights are coming off their highest ranking in program history and are undefeated in conference play after beating UConn 2 Saturdays ago. O'Leary talked Monday about the familiarity of Houston's coach to this rivalry.
Well, it's new people, and stuff, but the coach was there in 2009 and 10. I think he was with special teams as far as doing things there, but no, I think I'm more worried about our people doing what we're supposed to do than what Houston has to get done.
Kickoff is at 7 p.m. and will be broadcast on ESPN2. Another weekend, another day closer to Blake Bortles winning a quarterback award. Bortles made the cut for the Davey O'Brien Award presented every year to the nation's best college quarterback. He's among 16 of the nation's best fighting for the award. Bortles made the list over last year's Heisman winner, Texas A&M's Johnny Manziel. Semifinal vote opens Monday at 3 p.m. Go vote. It's that time of the year, Knights fans, basketball is back. Isaiah Sykes and company are taking on the University of Tampa Spartans tonight. First game in the American Athletic Conference for them, and they're sporting a new look blacktop court. The passing of the torch from Keith Clanton to Isaiah Sykes begins. The Knights are starting their toughest season yet with scheduled opponents including NCAA champion Louisville, Memphis, and UConn. Tip-off is at 8:30 p.m. at CFE Arena. And that's all the time we have for sports. Let's kick it back to Kat, Kenny, and Stacia at the desk.
Thanks, Mark. And nightly news reporter Stacia Strong is here to tell us a little more about homecoming. Stacia, how's homecoming going?
That's right, guys. I actually just got back from Spirit Splash. My jeans are still soaking wet. And let me tell you, the air there was electric. There was performances from the homecoming court along with Mr. and Mrs. UCF. It was insane. I mean, they must have given out over 1,000 rubber ducks. The shirt said, "What the duck?" It was crazy. Students were lined up all the way from the student union to the reflection pond just to get one of these shirts. It was insane. By far the largest crowd they've ever had. I can't even explain to you the energy there. I wish you guys could have been there with me. I definitely had a blast getting to see all of that.
Thanks for that, Stacia. And that's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us.
If you have a story idea or a comment about something you've seen here on Nightly News, email us at nightlynews.ucf.edu.
And be sure to check us out online in English and Spanish at nightlynews.ucf.edu. Until then, and here's a little bit from Spirit Splash. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great weekend.